Hello there. Let's learn how to compile drivers for a USB Wi-Fi adapter from source. We're going to be getting this adapter to work. It's called the TP-Link AC600 USB Wi-Fi adapter, which runs on 802.11ac. Reviews for this say that it does not actually work for Linux, but I got it to work, so I'm going to show you how I got it to work on my Raspberry Pi. Anyway, so what am I talking about here? Okay, so you get a Raspberry Pi and you want to hook it up to a second Wi-Fi radio because you want to make an access point or do more networking stuff, or the range on the built-in radio is crappy, so you want a better antenna or something like that. And you plug it in after waiting for it to ship to you, and it doesn't work, and you're really, really sad. And then you go to the reviews and you finally notice that all the reviews said this adapter doesn't work for Linux, right? That's still true for a lot of adapters, but for this one, it did say all over the place, all over the reviews that I found, that this doesn't work for Linux, but I got it to work because there are drivers you can find online and install if you're just willing to do a little bit of work. It's not really that much work. If you don't know how to use the command line or connect to machines over SSH, you probably want to just check out my other videos real fast. I show you how to do all that stuff. In this video, I'm just going to basically assume that knowledge and just kind of show you how to find drivers that might relate to your dongle and install them. So this video is about this particular dongle, but the idea that I'm showing you can work for a lot of different dongles. I actually just used this idea for a different dongle earlier today. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out, like, what is the driver that we're supposed to be finding, right? So this is like the Raspberry Pi website. It's not on there for sure. We got a bunch of new stuff that I should probably have hidden. Who cares? Let me actually... Okay, I've got a Raspberry Pi that's online right now. This is not the thing that you're looking at right now. You're looking at my VM. So I'm going to plug this adapter, this dongle, into my Pi. And then I'm going to use a program called lsusb to list all the USB devices. If that program is not on your... if it's not on your Pi yet, it should be on your Pi by default. But if it's not, you can do something like sudo apt install USB utils. Obviously, you need to be online because I'm in my Pi right now. But I'm going to go sudo lsusb and hope that it shows up. Okay, so it shows up. Notice how it says TP-Link Archer, and then it kind of gives a little bit of a description of the dongle. If you're not sure which thing it is in this listing, you probably want to list before you put in the dongle and then list again after you put in the dongle. I'm lucky, it shows me kind of like the driver that I'm supposed to be searching for. So I can search for RTL8821. And then if it doesn't show you that, you can actually just search for these numbers right here. This little ID here. This will kind of give you a decent idea of what dongle you have if you search for specifically that number online. So I'm going to like search for, this, right? For me, I already found the repository, so I'm just going to give you like a couple of tips and tricks of what you could do. You could say drivers and then search for that. You could also search for, right, see, so that the device ID already showed us the drivers. There's probably some links here to some drivers you can find online. A good place to check is github.com. They have tons of repositories. For some reason, they don't like it when I'm on this VM. I don't know why. They always tell me I'm searching too fast. So let's see if that actually works. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to search for this little thing here, which you could eventually find if you started with the search for the device ID in USB. But I'm going to go on to GitHub and see if that shows up anywhere. Okay, it shows up. These are not the repositories that I'm going to use. The one that I use successfully is somewhere down here. Sometimes this is trial and error. You might have to try several different repos. But probably a good rule of thumb is if you just entered the name of the little driver description here, then you don't really need to sort by relevancy. So I'm going to sort by most stars, which not always, but sometimes it tends to tell you which repositories are better, which ones more people have favorited, right? So yeah, this might work. And then you look at the latest push, last updated April 8th. I don't know about that, man. So you just kind of keep scrolling down until you find something that looks good. For me, in this particular adapter, I ended up settling on this repository right here. I don't even think this is the best repo, but that is what I settled on. So I'm going to paste. this one. And so this is the repository that got it working for me on this system. There's a newer one I found that I think will probably work too, but I just want to stick with what works. This works, I'm fine. I'm fine now. I don't need any more. Although that's not super smart. You should probably find the best. So if you go to the home page, you should carefully read all the instructions because it'll tell you basically how to build the driver. If you're trying to follow along with this video with like a different, dongle, this advice can still work for you. You probably just have to read the README. There's a file called README in there, and just follow everything it says. For this one in particular, it's kind of simple. It just tells me to change a few things and then run like a make and then run like a make build and whatever. So, but I'm just telling you, if you end up on a different repo because you have a different USB dongle, you just have to read the instructions. And then the process is probably very similar besides that. So what am I going to do here? Let's go back into the Pi and let's clone this repository. The first thing before we can actually clone repos, what is a repo? It's just like a place where you store code, right? So we have to install a tool called Git. So I'm going to say sudo apt install Git. Git is just a program that helps programmers, track changes to their code and like collaborate with each other and gives them nice history and logs, and it's really great. It's taken the world by storm. So I'm going to install that first, and then I'm going to go into a special directory called opt. So cd/opt. You don't have to clone the repo here, but I like to do Wild West repos here because I feel like the /opt directory is for optional software that you're just kind of installing yourself, and it's like outside the package manager. I think I read that somewhere. So I'm going to go sudo su root so that I can stay inside the root account. Being in root is not super safe, but the opt directory is owned by root, so I'm going to have to use sudo a bunch of times, and I'm going to forget, and it's going to be a pain in my butt. So I'm going to use the Git program that I've just downloaded to clone that repository. So I'm just pasting the URL of this repository that I found. Git clone, and then enter it. It should contact GitHub, and now you should have a new folder. Again, if you're uncomfortable with the command line, see my other videos. So I'm going to go into this, and if you look into the folder, this is the same thing that you'll see on the GitHub webpage. It even has the README file. So if I do less README, I can just kind of read the instructions on the Pi. So what the instructions are telling me to do is I need to modify something called the Makefile. You don't need to know too much about Makefiles right now. See my other videos if you're interested in learning how to do that. But this file tells a program called Make how to build the driver. So I'm going to edit it and search for something called config platform, and it should be i386. So basically, again, you don't have to know this by magic. The instructions told me to do this. I didn't guess this. Basically, by default, it's going to try to build for i386. It's going to try to build for PC, but this is not a PC. This is a Pi. It has a different CPU architecture. So I'm just going to duplicate that line and change the yes to no. For me, I like to duplicate lines that I change from default, so it's easier for me to revert later. Although I guess since I am inside of a Git repository, I could just use the Git features to go back. But so I'm looking for RPI. There we go. And I need to change that to yes. So if your Pi has a 32-bit operating system, shame on you, you should probably upgrade to 64. I'm on 64-bit, so I'm just going to basically change the no to a yes, meaning, yeah, let's build for 64-bit ARM Raspberry Pi. Then I think we're done editing that file, and we're ready to just sort of like build the repository. You might need to install build essentials. I can't remember always if it's build essential or build essentials with an S. But you need to install some tools that will help you build repositories like this on your Pi. So now that I've edited that make file, I'm going to do make and hit enter, and it should start building. The thing though about make is by default, it doesn't use all of your cores. So I'm going to go back into the Pi 2.168.1.123. You can see that I am not actually saturating all of my CPU cores, so this is taking longer than it needs to take. With Make, you can actually launch parallel jobs with -J4 as an argument, and notice how all of my cores start to go crazy now because the whole Pi is being used. It's okay to do this because the make files are almost always smart enough to launch parallel build jobs without having them conflict with each other. Like the make build system will figure out in what is the correct order to build all these things, unless the make file is really bad somehow. So we're just building and building and building and just kind of waiting for it to finish. Whoops, that queue is supposed to go down there. When it is finished, the next things that we need to do are, oh, I should have went into a screen. I forgot if I talked about screen in this video, but basically, let me go into another terminal. There's a program called Screen that you can use. Basically, if I say screen, I get a virtual screen that I can go back into later if I lose my connection. Notice how I'm outside of the Pi again. I'm going to go back into the Pi. If I say screen list and then screen reattach, whoops, reattach, my work is still there. So this is the kind of thing that you sort of want to do when you're building or doing a long-running job, because you don't want the whole thing to fail if you lose connection or forget where you are or whatever. It looks like the build succeeded. Didn't take too long. Other drivers might take longer. So then the first thing, or I guess the next thing that the instructions want us to do is still inside of the repository directory. It wants us to use a command that will install the module that we just built. This file right here at the end, 8812, that's the thing that we just built. So I'm going to say sudo install mod. And that should get the dongle working right away. The next thing that we should do is, let's just see if the dongle showed up right now. So you can, at home, just type IP space address, and you should see on your Pi an adapter for Ethernet 0 and WAN 0, and then also WAN 1, which will be the dongle. I'm going to type also show and then wireless LAN 1, because I don't want you to see my other adapters. So it showed up. That means the driver already is working, and this dongle is fine now. I can totally use it. To make this permanent, though, you have to, let's see, you have to copy a file. Let me copy a file right here real fast. So again, this is coming from the instructions of the repo, so you don't have to worry too much about this. Long story short, we're going to copy the kernel module we just made into a special folder that's named after the kernel and wireless driver. So I'm going to copy it there, and now this might work on boot. The other thing that's kind of annoying about some of these drivers is if you upgrade the operating system on your Pi, it might actually make the drivers stop working. And then you have to like figure out how to compile them all over again. So there's a thing called DKMS that you can install with sudo apt install. It's build essential without an S. Basically, DKMS is what we're looking for. That will basically sort of like automatically, it'll try to automatically recompile and reinstall drivers whenever the operating system changes too much. If you can't get this part working, it's okay. You can just come back in here and recompile the Wi-Fi whenever you need to. So now that DKMS, the package is installed in the system, I'm in now the driver folder for the Wi-Fi dongle. I'm just going to use make DKMS install, and that's a special target that works for that. What am I doing? Install sudo make. What did I do wrong? Oh, I actually don't have DKMS on this Pi. Sudo apt install DKMS. Why don't I just do build essential while I'm at it? I'm just following the instructions finally. Okay. Kernel module something, I forgot what DKMS stands for. It's a helper. Anyway, when this is done installing, for F's sake, I'm going to run the make target. So originally we did, I think it was just make by itself to just get the drivers built. Yeah, that's what we did, make by itself. So there's another target inside that make file that the repo has called make, it's just called DKMS install. So it'll install the drivers that we just made for DKMS, so DKMS can actually help us recompile the drivers and all that stuff. So again, we're just kind of waiting now. I probably should have done multiple jobs. It's going to take a long time. God, it's taking for frickin' ever. Let me see if launching multiple jobs will help. I'm not sure if it'll help because if it was, oh, dude, bro, I stopped it too soon. That was a huge mistake. Okay, let me read the README file, and it'll probably tell me something about how to clean up here. Installing, where's uninstalling? Okay, so I'm going to go sudo DKMS remove to undo my huge mistake. Whoops, I forgot to do make. Okay, and then I'm going to try to install with DKMS again, but this time with 4 jobs, which may or may not go faster. It'll only go faster if there are multiple things to build at the same time. If we're just building one thing only, then we're probably just going to have to wait. I don't really know. Yeah, there's only one thing that's actually building right now. Okay, so maybe I can remember to edit out this long wait while it's installing. If I don't, you can go to the chapter timestamps in the description of this video and just click ahead a little bit. I use an AI to help me generate timestamps. I wonder what would happen if I told the AI right now, hey, make a chapter called I like turtles. I wonder if it'll actually do that. What will it call the chapter? Mike likes turtles. Or just I like turtles by itself. I don't even know. Make a chapter called The Super Secret of the Universe. No? Okay. Okay, AI, please make a chapter at this timestamp called The DKMS Has Finally Frickin' Finished. Okay, so now we're finally frickin' finished. We have to do one more command, again, per the instructions of the repo. It's just telling me that I have to like stick a file into a module thing. So it's just, if I go in there now, modules, oh, there's a module file. Yeah, so if I go into etc. cat modules. Now just that the driver name is in there, and this I guess will tell the kernel to like watch for changes. So now that we've done this, we should be able to reboot the Pi, and it should be activated when we come back. So I'm going to do reboot on the Pi real fast. I'm going to ping it to make sure that I know when it comes up. Doop, doop, doop. I still got Ethernet plugged in, so it's okay that the Wi-Fi is not yet configured. But there it goes. Oh, I was trying to SSH. I thought I was pinging. Okay, so now we're in the Pi again. Let me do a IP address show wireless LAN 1. So it's working across reboots, so that's pretty awesome. Then I just want to check one thing, because probably a lot of you, well, some of you are just trying to get a better connection with your Pis, you know, like when you buy another dongle. Some of you, though, are wondering if you can make the dongle into an access point, like we're going to do in my other video. So we'll say sudo network manager, we'll ask for the properties, and we'll ask if wireless LAN 1, which is the dongle we just installed, if it supports access point mode. And notice how it says yes. If it says no, either you didn't install the drivers right, or you installed the wrong drivers, or maybe the access point doesn't actually, sorry, maybe the dongle doesn't work as an access point. So that part sucks. Anyway, so I think we've talked about everything that we can in this particular video. I hope you learned a little bit of stuff and had a little bit of fun. I hope your Wi-Fi dongle is now working and you're having a grand old time. I'll see you in the next video. Hey everybody. Thanks for watching this video again. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. I do hope you did learn something and have some fun. If you could do me a small little favor, could you please subscribe and follow this channel or these videos or whatever it is you do on the current social media website that you're looking at right now. It would really mean the world to me, and it'll help make more videos and grow this community. So we'll be able to do more videos, longer videos, better videos, or just I'll be able to keep making videos in general. So please do me a kindness and subscribe. You know, sometimes I'm sleeping in the middle of the night and I just wake up because I know somebody subscribed or followed. It just wakes me up and I get filled with joy. That's exactly what happens every single time. So you could do it as a nice favor to me, or you could troll me if you want to just wake me up in the middle of the night. Just subscribe, and then I'll just wake up. I promise that's what will happen. Also, if you look at the middle of the screen right now, you should see a QR code which you can scan in order to go to the website, which I think is also named somewhere at the bottom of this video. And it'll take you to my main website where you can just kind of like see all the videos I published and the services and tutorials and things that I offer and all that good stuff. And if you have a suggestion for clarifications or errata or just future videos that you want to see, please leave a comment. Or if you just want to say, hey, what's up? What's going on? You know, just send me a comment. Whatever. I also wake up for those in the middle of the night. I wake up in a cold sweat and I'm like, it would really mean the world to me. I would really appreciate it. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and enjoy the cool music as I fade into the darkness which is coming for us all.